About time I got something interesting to talk about for once. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the different animation mediums I use and the things I do with them that are all related to each other. So the most obvious one for me is claymation stop motion. Because I've done it with both the clay and even some things that aren't necessarily clay. Sometimes Lego, sometimes action figures. But that could count as its own machinima kind of thing, Figma. But I've done stop motion in general. Most do clays and claymation kind of stuff. So you've seen me do a little bit of pivot, right? Stick figure animations. And you've seen me do a little bit of other stuff like machinimas on 2D and 3D. So that counts as a little bit for it too. The thing that they all relate to with each other, if you're not having to do like 3D's rotoscope stuff, like the models, right? Like 3D is very dependent on models. Stop motion in general needs you to at least be patient with how you use the figures. And you don't always have the luxury of using 3D models to save and rig and try to troubleshoot all the time and make sure it works. You have to always do that with anything other than 3D. 2D is a little similar to that if it's coded in, but not like AI, right? But it does matter like how you do stop motion in a patient way. So patience is necessary for a lot of animation in general, and in stop motion generally. It comes down to, are you patient enough to deal with it, and would you do it all over again if you had to? Because that's the patience that's included with the patience of animating it in stop motion, and it's also included with if you would doing something all over again, meaning like if you lost all your file footage, or if something knocked over in the middle of a frame that you need to make crucial, and having to edit that in yourself, and it's like, oh you know. And stop motion's other thing is that it involves a lot of materialism. So not in a shallow way. You're gonna need supplies eventually for like claymation particularly, because it replaces the aspect of coding and software and environments that you would add otherwise with software. With claymation isn't as much as a software is with its own software, like Stop Motion Pro Eclipse and Dragon Frame, 2026 now. And I use for more 2026 for other stuff, but alongside the same projects. But the thing with having to code in with software in 2D and 3D is they always supply you the assets as long as you made them yourself. And if you borrowed them, you could use them integratably as long as it was coded in properly and you didn't mess around too much with how to get the code. With claymation, it's literally the material, so you easily use it in frame as long as it reflects the light properly. And otherwise, it can't be used easily because you have to edit in like visual effects with the claymation, and it sucks because trying to do that at the last second can suck easily. So don't rely on green screen too much with claymation if you can help it. Otherwise, use it wisely. And then if you're going to mix visual effects with claymation, make sure it works properly and also use the sound audio properly. It doesn't always come together pretty well. It's not easy to tell if it would come together. And another thing with stop motion in general that's not common in animation elsewhere is if they say animation is hard to make. I made claymation for over 5 years. It was easy. I'm sorry, I limit that all the time. Claymation was easy for me to do. I don't know why they tell you in every other animation field that it's hard. I really don't. Like, they always say it's hard, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's hard to consider because it's weird. It's nerdy. It's like doing animation that's foreign in general, and doing animation at all is foreign and weird. It's not hard. It's just that it doesn't market itself right. So having to earn the respect of people to show your animation off to them, as well as your audience as a whole, that can suck. But it's not hard to animate. Like, I animate at 12 frames per second, right? It's not hard. Maybe like the toughness of the hard work ethic is, if you're not hardworking, you wouldn't work anyways. It's not hard to be an animator. It is not hard. It's hard to consider why you do it. So it's like, as it may. So, but yeah, it's been rewarding. Like, I like to animate figures. I do all sorts of mediums and genre and types of animation, anime, comic book hero. Somehow I do video games still. I did SCP Secret Laboratory the first time around, and that worked a couple times in. And I did a little bit of other video games, some other anime-centered film pieces and short films. I've done things like, I've done projects and experimentations every once in a while. My live streams end up being about like 2 to 4 hours straight. And I do that as a scheme. Like, as a schema. I do like 2 to 4 hours straight. Exactly 2 hours, exactly 4 hours. A little OCD with that, but I do it anyways. And the other thing is, like, I do a little bit of claymation as a hobby, and not just as a career. Like, potentially, I could make a lot of money as an artistry thing. I could do, like, a lot of artists do with claymation, and I understand they could be a career, and I could make a lot of money. If I were to focus on it and niche down on claymation, not focus on anything else, I could definitely make a career out of it, instead of going at a snail pace. You know what I mean? Like, not growing too slow, not having to do anything else, like, do varied content all the time and try to see what else makes me happy, and what I can still learn from. Because niching down on one channel wouldn't be the worst thing to do. I tried to do it multiple times already in my channel's history, and I should probably do it eventually one more time again. But it doesn't have to be hard for me. But, you know, niching down would last if I would focus on dedicating consistent. And I'm consistent either way. Whether it's varied content or not, I'm consistent. But I can be consistent with the niche I have, with claymation animation and stop motion animation. It's like, I could stay consistent with that and not regret it. If I had to choose at the last second to do that, of course. So, you know, that's all I got for now. I mean, I wanted to make this a short one, but I didn't have to. And I gotta get thumbnails first anyway, so I could end up pretty soon anyways. So, this has been Crosswind, everyone. I talked a bit about claymation in this video, and all the stop motion and animated animation mediums in relation to stop motion. That was the main topic. But also just claymation in general. I'm still gonna make claymation, and I'm still going to, like, try to be consistent with this niche if I can help it. But I'll make varied content if I don't want to. That's how my mind goes. I'm sorry, but I do like that. So take care, guys. Bye. Crosswind.